Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. So far we discussed about item structure, work definition concepts, and even we tested one basic work order cycle. So from today's session onwards, we'll discuss detailed work execution scenarios. Log into the application with our username. Log into the application with our username. So navigate to, go to navigator. So under manufacturing, select work execution. Select work execution. So work execution is classified into two different things. One is work execution. So production, manage production, nothing but where we are going to create the work orders and where we are going to close the work orders and all those things will come under manage production. Another one is execute production. Execute nothing but processing the work orders. Execute production, nothing but processing the work orders will comes under executing the production. So first thing, go to manage work orders. Navigate to manage work orders. So here, last time we created one standard work order. For that work order, we completed from one operation to another operation, and we close the work order. That means we manufactured some quantity by using the work order scenario. So if you see plus icon, if you click on plus icon directly, it will create a standard work order. If you click on this list of values, you can see standard work order, non-standard work order, rework work order, and transform work orders. So we completed one work order. Let's see that work order, for example. So see in completed status. So start date. So I'm not going to give any start date. Select search. See, this is the work order which is started on 8th November and completed on 14th November. So which is in status, completed status. So this is the work order which we completed to manufacture 10 quantity, which we used to manufacture 10 quantity. So here, if you go to history, so we can see the details like, okay, we completed on 8th itself. Sorry, we completed on 8th itself. So we completed the quantity operations. So what are the operations and what are the items we reported? All these things we can see. We even didn't reported items manually. Did we reported any items manually?
No.
No. But once we complete the work order, if you don't report any items manually, automatically system will update it. Still there is some bugs in the application. So some not bugs, some functionalities is not fulfilled. So for example, okay, people who worked in e-business suite manufacturing, so answer me. So in e-business suite manufacturing, I completed a discrete job without performing the picking for the work order. So discrete job. So I completed the discrete job and the material and everything automatically reported. So is there on-hand quantity is going to decrease in the system automatically in e-business suite?
Yes, Sarath. Yeah, backflash happens automatically.
Can you please speak once again? Let me off the Okay, yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, the backflash happens automatically, right?
That's what I call it. Will automatically decrease on-hand quantity in e-business suite application if you don't perform picking. For example, you didn't generate a whip move order. So by default, you created a standard discrete job. You choose a bill. So that's fine. Then you completed the work order directly. You completed the discrete job directly. So from 10 operation, you move to last operation and you completed. So will all the components reports manually? I mean, so all the components, whatever used, so system will update us. These are the components used, but is on-hand quantity is going to decrease in the system in e-business suite.
Yes, I think because of the backflash here, definitely it decreases.
Based on the backflash,
Decrement is happening.
decrement is happening. So are you sure in e-business suite?
Yeah, I mean, even if you didn't release the pick and all that, right?
No, yeah, that's what. If you perform picking and everything based on the backflash, all those things will happen. But I didn't do anything like picking or anything. Just directly I completed a work order, discrete job in e-business suite.
It will, I think, like, because picking is different, right? It is on the front end, like, you're picking and making sure that the components are there in the sub-inventory, supply sub-inventories, right? That's a different process. But assuming that it is the components are existing in that supply locator, I think it will automatically decrement, Sharath.
Okay, actually in e-business suite it won't decrease. So as I know, I worked some long time ago. I don't know what about the recent versions, but as per my knowledge, so even till 12.2.4 also, there is a small box like that components on hand quantity won't decrease automatically. Okay, for example, I will show you what will happen is. So let's go to inventory management. It is inventory management, supply chain execution, inventory management. So go to task, select manage item quantities, select manage item quantities. So select search. See, in cloud application, what happened? So automatically it is decreased, but in e-business suite it won't decrease. As per my knowledge, in e-business suite it won't decrease. There is a differences. Actually, I thought of explaining the differences, but uh, I don't know whether they're 12.2 till 12.2.4. Even if you don't report that compounds manually, it won't decrease. So that issue, few issues fixed in cloud application manufacturing, and few issues is not fixed. Just I want to explain the differences. So that's fine. Okay, in e-business suite, actually, it won't decrease if you don't, and if you don't perform. Sorry. I think your voice is breaking for me. Is that same for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Can you please ping text? Can you please ping in the chat? Okay, so what will happen is in e-business suite, if you directly complete the work order, so without reporting transactions, so automatically what will happen is so till 2.4 version also, so the data, the quantity won't update in the inventory. The quantity won't update in the inventory. There is a small bug is there. So in e-business suite till 12.2.4, that thing is fixed. So just I want to explain the difference. That's fine. So okay. So anyhow, so then two scenarios. One is we are going to perform a whip movement request. Through whip movement request, we are going to pick the components to this specific work order, and based on the again supply tab, based on the supply tab, we are going to pick. That is one concept. Another concept, rather than picking, so through a whip movement request, manually we can report the material transactions for the work order. That is another concept. So third one, if you don't perform picking and if you don't perform so a manual reporting the material transactions, system will assume that so we already picked, and based on the item structure, the required quantity is going to decrease. That is a standard scenario. So in application point of view, in whip movement request, the data is going to become minus, the quantity is going to become decrease. So as well as reporting material transactions, quantity also decrease at immediate with immediate effect. For example, if you say whip movement request, once you transact, automatically quantity will get decreased. So in reporting material transactions, once you report, automatically quantity will get decreased. But in comes to the standard working, so without reporting, once you complete the operation, once you complete, not completing the work order, once you completing the operation, automatically system is going to assume that so the on-hand quantity is used, because based on the bill of material, nothing but based on the item structure, the component should be used to manufacture that item. So system will assume that the components are reported. If you don't do any first two scenarios, then automatically system will decrease the on-hand quantity, which is a small issue we have in e-business suite. In e-business suite, so till 12.2.4 also, the reporting, so if you don't perform manually, so then our system won't consider and it won't decrease the on-hand quantity, but that is fixed. So that is fixed in application. So that means, okay, so that's fine. So go to work execution. First thing, we have 4 types of work orders. In e-business suite, how many types of work orders we have? In EBS, what are the work order types we have?
Standard, non-standard, rework.
Standard, non-standard, rework. Okay.
Transform.
Transform. Do you have transform in e-business suite?
No, sir, it is a new concept, I saw.
Okay. Then what are the work orders we have in EBS?
Standard, non-standard, and rework also we are having.
Okay. And is okay. So is anyone defined the VIP classes? Is anyone defined the VIP classes?
In VIP parameter, yeah, it is a VIP classes. Definitely, we have to define it.
Okay. What are the VIP classes we have?
It is a VIP classes is standard,
Standard,
and non-standard.
non-standard. Then what is one more thing?
One more thing is
Repetitive assembly.
repetitive assembly. Yeah,
So for what purposes we will use this repetitive assembly?
for the reworks.
It's not actually rework work orders. So for example, so I mean, just a group production concept is there, right? So some items we keep on manufacture in our plant on a regular basis. For example, okay, so you created a work order means you are going to manufacture some 100 quantity. That's fine. But my manufacturing is there. For example, let's take an example. I'm manufacturing mobiles. So a mobile version every day I'm going to manufacture 100 units. So is it a repetitive production? Is it
Yes,
repetitive production or not?
yes, yes.
So that is the repetitive production, which every day we are going to manufacture some 100 quantity. That concept is also available in EBS, but still that concept is not available in cloud application. I mean, trying to explain the differences and what is available so far. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to explain these concepts. So what are available so far? It's okay. So now in e-business suite, we don't have separate rework order. First point. So if you want to perform any rework in e-business suite, you have to create a non-standard discrete job only. So first point, so standard work order, nothing but standard discrete job. Standard work order, nothing but if you want to manufacture a item, the standard process from the beginning. So that is the standard work order scenario where by using item structure, nothing but bill of material, and by following a routing, nothing but a work definition process, we are going to complete the manufacturing process, nothing but a standard work order. So then we have another concept of non-standard work order. Non-standard work order. So what are the scenarios we are going to use non-standard work order? For example, you manufactured an item and you come to know that so some quality checks. Okay, after completing the work order, you found that some issue is there. Then we have to repair that issue, or you have to rework that issue. For example, you have to repair or rework, or so any prototype items. For example, is prototype items going to have a bill of material? Is prototype item going to have a bill of material?
Yeah, engineering bill of material we used to have
ECO,
it.
again, implementing ECO is different. Okay, if you have engineering module where you are going to implement the engineering bill, in the engineering bill, so you are going to create an engineering work, based on that you are going to perform a work order, and if that is success, you are going to implement that ECO as a standard bill of material. That is a different concept. For example, just without ECO, can you create a, I mean, without, so you don't have engineering module. So, but still you want to manufacture, you want to test some, you want to generate some prototype items. In that scenario, so his prototype items is going to have a bill. Even what will happen is, I will give you this example. Even engineering bill also, sometimes what will happen is, so the bill is going to have components. Apart of using the bill, so someone what they will do, so engineering bill, nothing but they will mention that these are the components you need to use to manufacture the item. So before defining that engineering bill also, so what usually people will do is they will have a draft version of the components required, and they will try to produce something. They will try to produce that item. But once the draft version of components, they will see like those are useful, then they will generate an engineering bill. Against the engineering bill, they will follow a process, and if that process is good, then they will implement that engineering bill. So in that scenario also, you can go with a non-standard work order. So or else customer returns. In the customer returns also, once you receive the material back from the customer, again any changes or repair or any work required, you will go with a non-standard work order. Usually non-standard work order we are going to create without a work definition. But still, so even without item structure, we are going to generate a non-standard work order. So you say that non-standard work order we are going to use for repair, rework, and prototype. Then why we need to use it? Why we have another work order, rework work order? Tell me. So if non-standard work order can use for repair, rework, prototype, why we have one more work order as a rework work order?
You just now told me that a repetitive assembly when we are
No, it's not repetitive. That repetitive production direct feature is not available. First point. Okay. Repetitive production for that which we are going to use the repetitive classes. That repetitive production, the direct concept is still not available. This point. Why we are, so I have non-standard work order where I am going to perform repairs. I am going to perform rework. Okay, one simple question, guys. Is anyone following any implementation guide?
Yes, sir. Rework it is for the repairable item.
No. I mean that's not. So I have a for no, it's not for repair ideally. So repair, I have a non-standard work order. Same to perform rework also I have non-standard work order. So some prototype also have non-standard work order. Then why we have another rework work order? Very simple question. It's not tricky. So usually same rework, if we want to track separately, and the rework nothing but once we completed the finished good item, the manufacturing of a finished good item, and which dedicatedly requires a rework. For example, I completed the production, but still I found that so I have to rework that order. I have to perform the changes on the specific order. So for dedicatedly rework purpose, we are going to maintain rework work orders. Same scenario even we can achieve through non-standard work order scenario also. Same scenario we can achieve through non-standard, but the rework work order is the dedicatedly to perform the rework operations on the shop floor, dedicatedly for rework operations. Where in the standard work order you can do repair, you can go with rework, or you can go with prototype. Anything is fine in the non-standard work orders. In the non-standard work orders, anything is fine. No, not only. For example, even usually we will say standard work order all these things as a production activities. Even non-standard production activities also non-standard production activities also falls under non-standard work order. But rework work order nothing but if any finished good item requires rework only which we completed in our manufacturing plant, which we already placed in our sub inventory, which requires a rework. That means we have to pick that item back from the sub inventory and we have to change the component or we have to change some a small request, guys. Whenever you are not speaking, go on mute, please.
Sharath, you mean to say the rework work order, the completion we can generate, can go back to the stores, finished good as a finished
Yes,
good?
we are going to pick that finished good item again and we are going to change the components like that.
Oh, thank you. It's very good. Yeah.
Actually, same scenario is available in EBS Institute also. As part of non-standard work order, we are going to perform. In cloud application also, as part of non-standard work order, you can perform the same scenario. Or else, if you want to track that dedicatedly as a separate process, then we have a concept of rework work order. Okay?
In the sense, any enhancement, what is the dedication? I don't understand.
This dedication means so to perform these changes in the component which we completed rather than tracking as a non-standard work order in our organization. So we can track as a rework work order scenario. So if you want, you can have a separate operations and everything in a proper, in a proper way. Like,
is there anything on the quality issue that's been given by the engineering department? We are doing the rework work orders, sir. Sometimes it happens.
no, if anything failed at the time of quality, again we are going to move back to within the standard work order. We will move back. Correct?
No, some enhancement they do. some enhancement they do, product improvements they do, their engineering they find out that supplier material is not okay. Again, you do some re-improvement, that is enhancement on this existing
Yeah,
component.
that's what anything you want to change. So once you complete it, so either components, so you feel that components are you want to change, or else you feel like so you want to make a small changes in the process. So anything that's a rework. The same thing even you can do with the help of non-standard work order also, but in cloud application. So rather than doing all these things under non-standard work order, so you can separately create another rework work order. So we have to ensure that so this is what we are doing a rework, so we can track it in the application exactly. Okay.
Sarath, we can also achieve the same thing by using ECO, right?
ECO is different. ECO is engineering bill. Engineering bill nothing but before manufacturing a final production finished good item. So we are going to generate a prototype items. For that prototype items, we are going to mention components, and based on that one, we are going to perform a manufacturing. And if the item works fine, then we are going to implement the ECO. That means we are going to make a main production item. That means main bill of material. ECO bill nothing but for a prototype items, we are going to create a ECO bill. So that ECO bill we are going to keep on revise based on the process. So till we get the item is a perfect item.
It is same like standard work order only, right? Components we will define for ECO.
Which
ECO, engineering change order.
yeah, standard, not standard work order, standard bill of material only.
Okay.
Likewise, standard bill of material only we are going to generate, but that one we cannot use for main production items. The items which are a status as a production phase, the items which are in phase production phase, we cannot use.
Okay. In the item structure, we need to select any value for this engineering change. There is
So if you
primary.
want to create an engineering bill, first you have to define item as a item life cycle phase. You have to put in the pre-production or prototype.
Okay.
You have 4 life cycle phases, right?
Yes.
You have to place that item in the pre-production or prototype, but still anyhow, functionality is not available.
Okay.
Okay.
In the item structure, we need to define any value.
No, Sarath, in the item structure instead of primary, we have to use engineering or what?
Okay. First thing, the item creation where you have to define life cycle phase as a pre-production or prototype for engineering bill, and engineering is a separate module where you are going to get the option. So, but still engineering concept is not available. But the major difference is in the item life cycle phase, if that is a production, that is a main item structure, main bill. And if you create a final finished good item as a pre-production phase or a prototype phase, if you are keeping in that one, and if you are creating item structure, then that is the ECO bill. Okay. Then rework work order nothing but so dedicatedly. So if you want to perform a rework transaction, so we are going to make it as a rework work order. So these are the fine. So we have one more work order. What is that?
Transform work order.
Transform work order. So what is transform work order?
Knowledge, you put one item with the enhancement capacity which is not available, and the customer they're asking, and if there is a common bill of material with it enhanced product and the existing product which is
that is different. No. So transform work order in cloud application will works in a simple way. So first thing, so I manufactured a car. Simple example. So let's take an example: one Hyundai i20 or Maruti Suzuki Baleno. So every car is going to have different versions, correct? Every cost is going to have 3 or 4 versions, correct or wrong? So in that scenario, let's take an example: basic, medium variant, and the top class variant. So there is this few difference. End of the day, the manufacturing process of a Baleno or i20 car is same, but the components we are going to use are different. For example, in the same i20 car, so for high end, I am going to use LED lights. So for a medium variant, I am not going to use LED lights. So if you replace that LED lights itself in the medium variant, is that going to become a top variant? Simple example. So I
Yes.
already manufactured on medium variant car, one top variant car. So the only difference between, for example, medium variant to top variant is LED lights and chrome handles. So for the medium variant, which I already manufactured, so I just, if I change that LED lights plus chrome handles, is that item going to become a top end or not?
Definitely it will become a top.
That means once we completed a finished good item, if you are changing any component, so in terminology, application terminology is removing or adding a components to make another assembly item. That means medium variant to top item means it's a completely different version, different item, right?
Correct.
So that means for a finished good item, by adding or in the application terminology, by adding or removing components to make another different assembly, nothing but transform work order.
In this bill of structure should be a common and should be
We are not
established
going to
between
use
these
any
two.
separate structure. As already we created a standard work order. By standard work order, we manufactured a item. We are going to take that item and we are going to report components manually. Okay, either negative quantity or positive quantities. We are going to report that materials, report that resources manually.
Okay.
Okay. So clear for everyone? Okay. My simple question. So can I report positive quantity in standard work order?
Yes.
Can I report negative quantity in rework work order? Yes, of course, yes. Rework means
Yes.
already we reported some quantity, nothing but positive quantity only. Then rework, nothing but you have to take that component back, right? For example, some component you find that you want to replace or you see that after manufacturing, there's some defect is there. That means if you want to, let's sim wheels. You found that the wheels has a fault, then you have to replace that wheel. That means whatever the existing wheel for that item, you have to issue outside, right? Either issue to store
Yes.
sub inventory or scrap, that is separate. You have to issue nothing but negative quantity. That means reporting negative quantity is there or not for rework work order.
It is.
It is, yes, correct or wrong?
Yes. Yes. It is there.
Can I issue negative quantity for standard work order?
No. Why? Because it's a standard. Everything is we are well established, and
Okay.
it has to be issued positive.
Okay.
Because
Oh, that's
standard
okay.
application.
You said no, that's fine. So simple thing. If no, I assembled a component, still the manufacturing process is going on. In the middle of the manufacturing process, I have a quality check. There, I found that some component has a defect. Then what you will do?
I will return that one. Of course, I will return that
Component.
one.
That means in standard work order, there is a standard issue, positive issue is there, and return is there. But in non-standard rework, if you want, you can go with a negative issue also, minus quantities also. You can issue minus quantity also. You can issue again. Here also you can make it return. Still, return is available in these scenarios also. But still here you can report negative quantity also, which we cannot do in standard work order. So in these scenarios, we can report negative quantities, but this in one first scenario, we cannot report negative quantity. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And anyone heard about scheduling? Scheduling.
Scheduling, the work definition is there. Scheduling, definitely for the standard work order, scheduling is there.
Okay. What are the
Based
schedulings we have?
scheduling means in the sense is operation sequence with the resource time, effort, everything is put into a lead time. That is the scheduling. That is the start date and completion date. Based on the routing, it will take care of.
Actually, not based on this routing. So we have, when you define resource, for example, you enable planning and utilization. Remember?
Yes.
Where
Planning
resource
and
is going to have a again, resource is going to have a calendar, exceptions is there. What we said that, so if you include in planning, then system will consider the resource availability, material availability. Based on that one, scheduling engine from the VCP is going to schedule the work order to give the start date and completion date based on the material availability. So based on
that
material
is
resource availability, so system will give the start and end date, correct?
capable to promise, you told me. Yeah.
Capability promise. So that means, so not only capability promise, capable to promise plus resource availability, including planning, a lot of attributes will play a role. So then again, we have concept of schedulings, but which is not part of standard manufacturing scenario. Of course, this part of manufacturing. So where, I mean, I think we have this forward, midpoint, and one more thing is what? Backward. So some 3 schedulings is there. So those 3 schedulings also available, but those available as part of supply planning or supply demand planning. Okay, guys?
Okay.
That means, so now how we are generating start and end date, completion date. So just if you are creating
Routing, resource.
No. Automatically won't populate. Just we are creating standard work order manually and we are giving the start date manually. If you want, you can give the completion date manually, or else automatically once you complete, the completion date will update. That's the scenario which we are doing. Correct?
Yes.
Again, if routing has to come into the picture, but still the routing has to verify whether the resources and material has to be available. So if it has to verify the availability rules we need to define. That availability has to go to the schedule GOP, global order promising rule, where available to promise will come into the picture. Again, as that one sourcing rule will come into the picture. So if the components are buy items, then when, by which lead times, again lead times will come into the picture, by which time the item will be available will come into the picture, as well as resources availability based on the resource calendar for which are work orders, how much time they need. So they, based on that one, when the resources will be available. So by calculating both, system will verify the capability promise and everything. Then system will generate the scheduling based on the scheduling engine. So there's a big concept. But so far in the manufacturing, so can we generate start date automatically in the standard manufacturing without VCP?
Yeah, we can generate standard.
In which scenarios? Again, in which scenarios?
No.
In back-to-back make flow, as well as in MMX planning, the day we generate the work order, the day we run the release planning documentation schedule process, that is the day the start date is going to be. Okay?
Okay.
Those are the 2 scenarios where automatically generating the start date. So, or else if you are creating the work order today is going to be, for example, you create a work order today is going to be start date. See, manually today it is going to be start date, correct? This system will take the server date. It is a server date, CST time. So CST time is still, so 18 November. So it is 9:13. See, 9:13 p.m. CST time zone. That means are you generating automatically or manually? Whatever the date you are creating work order, that is going to be standard work order date. Okay, guys. The reason why I'm explaining is you have to explain in interest. So if someone came back to you and they will ask, so how the start date will generate, how the completion date will generate, what do you have to answer? That is part of
on the, yeah.
But we cannot simply say like it is a VCP, I don't know. We cannot say like that, right? Can we say like that?
No.
No. Then what you have to explain? You have to explain that. So if you are creating manually the work orders, then the server date is going to be the start date of the work order, and you can choose completion date manually, or else completion date. So automatically some profile option will, you can populate 5 days after as the completion date, where system won't calculate any availability. But if you want to populate the exact start and exact when we can start and when we can complete, then you have to go with the, so 3 things. So first thing, you have to define your resources, where resources we need to include in planning, as well as the resource. We have to define GOP setups for the components, where you have to define ATP rules, available to promise rules. Again, that available to promise rule should be promising mode, should be supply promising mode rather than infinite availability. So then you have to define the sourcing rules. So again, that sourcing rule should have a lead times. So then the resource should have a availability. Again, resource availability, you have to define exceptions. Then based on this one, we have to pull the data into the planning, where we have a 3 concepts: scheduling, midpoint, okay, forward, backward, and midpoint schedulings. Based on the schedulings which you are going to choose at the time of supply planning or supply and demand planning, system is going to scheduling engine will work backend, it won't work front end. So scheduling engine will generate a start date for the work order and completion date for the work order, or else manually whatever we are going to get, that's going to be the start date. And some 5 days, some administrative profile value is there, which is, I think, that is going to give it. So where if you set 5 days, by default 5 days is the completion date from the start date. Like that, we have a basic features is there.
Sarath,
Okay.
while releasing the planned order from the VCP, the start date could be in the planned run date or can be future, right?
Start date is going to be future date
Okay.
based on the scheduling engine. That's what I'm saying.
Based upon the
Okay.
demand.
No,
Based
not
upon
based on the demand, based on the availability for the components and resources. Again, there also, if you don't including any scheduling, then the day you are going to release going to be start date. Again, for example, you are not maintaining any forward scheduling or midpoint scheduling or any backward scheduling. That means what will happen? The day you are going to release from the workbench is going to be the start date of the work order.
Yes. Okay. If you are not maintaining any scheduling, forward or backward.
Yes.
90 days like that in the plan options.
No, it's not scheduling. It's not like 90 days like that. Scheduling again. So again, those internal concepts are different. I mean, the way it has to work. I mean, again, the resources, how we have to schedule the resources. So how we have to get the ATP for the, I mean, again, manufacturing lead times also will come into the picture. So for the calculations,
okay,
all those things are a bit difficult. I mean, sorry, a bit different concepts.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, scheduling means it won't like it not like a only scheduling days. Again, resources scheduling for, I mean, all the whatever you are performing is the in-house operations, right? Resources scheduling will come into the picture. Manufacturing lead times will come into the picture. All the calculations will play a major role.
Yeah. So engine will take consider all these entities which we are collecting during the collection part.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, yeah, collections it will collect, but again, based on the supply plan, you are defining system.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. By default,
ATP, ATP in EBs also we used to do it, no, for the supply and demand, everything we used to make it in ATP route. But here it is a different concept, Sarath, in VCP, because through VCP we have to do it.
No, ATP also part of order promising part of VCP only. Okay, simple scenario.
Okay.
Available to promise is part of global order promising. So global order promising is part of value chain planning. Again, value chain planning, we have different concepts.
Value chain planning for normal cloud SCM, it is a standard functionality or is a separate license?
By default, what I observed is for few clients, I mean, by default, the planning central, again in the planning central to run the basic collections plus GOP, Oracle is giving free of cost if they purchase complete supply chain management. So like if they purchase order management, for few clients by default they are giving so basic planning central plus GOP without extra cost. But if you want to implement, so 4 plans is there: supply plan, demand plan, supply and demand plan, and aggregation plan. Nothing but sales and operation plan. So if you want to go with these plannings, nothing but demand management, all those things, then it's a separate license cost. Okay, I mean, my small request, guys, when I explain, before I start explaining anything, if you follow the guides, then after you, I'm just gone through the guides, at least spend some time. And if I explain that, you will get a clear knowledge, because a lot of people didn't work in manufacturing. That is the reason why my small request is please spend time to follow the guides. So once you read the guides, maybe you won't understand, but after that, if I explain, it's going to be easy to understand. Then you will get a clear picture on the concept. Or else, at least once I explained also, please go through the guides. Anything, If you don't go through the guides, then usually, I mean, it's a simple concepts, but just analyzing the business is a mandatory. So if you don't follow the guides, then definitely you will forget the process. Okay. Okay, so so what we discussed some differences and the basic scenarios, right? Then we'll create one basic work order. For example, what will happen is, so we said that rework work order. Again, for standard work order, is work definition must or not? For standard work order,
Yes, work definition.
yes. For non-standard work order, is there any work definition?
Not required.
No. For rework,
Rework, yes.
available but not required. Again, okay, same concept for transform. So work definition is available, the scenario is available, but still not required. So let's just simply create one standard work order. So which item we used? Asus laptop, right? For this item we have bill of material. So some 2 quantity I'm manufacturing today. Click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. So if I go to general information, so currently by default the status is unreleased status. Someone has set the profile option as some, I think, one day. That is the reason. So you can see completion date as 19th in CST time zone. 2 quantity we are going to manufacture. Work definition. So we are going to use main work definition. So item structure is a primary item structure. So go to details. So where you can see it's a standard work order scenario where completion information. So we are going to place in the FG sub inventory. We are going to place in the FG sub inventory. Okay. Then go to operations. So these are the operations and these are the components. For example, if I want to edit items, or if you want to add a item, or if you want to remove an item, what I have to do? For example, these items is populated from the item structure. Okay. These resources details populated from the work definition. So rather than assembler 1-2 units, for this only for this work order, I want to use only 1 unit where I can update it.
In the work definition.
No. Work definition is a standard process for only this work order.
So says the blue color, you have to click it.
With blue color, okay.
You can edit from here as well, right, Sarath? Select the operation and edit it.
So either you can click on this one, or else you can use this pencil icon to edit. Anything to edit across the application is a pencil icon. So edit operation resources. Either you can click here, or else go to edit operation resources. So select in the operation and click on the resource. So usage ready 1, required usage 2, rather than 2, just make it 1. So only for this work order, I am saying only for this work order. So some unavailability this person can handle. So for example, that is the reason I'm reporting only 1. Likewise, so here if you want to add a component, can I add? So for 20th operation, I want to add one more component for this work order only. Can I add or not?
Yes.
Of course you can again. So either you can click on items, or else you can click on edit operation items. So just add a component. Which component will add some test item. Select. So how much quality per product, 1, required quantity 2, supply type I'm going to choose assembly pool, for example. Select. Okay. So likewise you can add. So that means at the time of so once you create a work order, from the item structure, items will populate, from the work definition, resources will populate, and the items will associate the operations in the work definition process itself. But still, in the specific work order, if you want to add a component, you can add at the time of creating the work order, or else, for example, here I didn't add it. Later I want to add a component. Can I do that one?
Yes, we have a
Rather than editing the work order, so we have a concept of reporting material transactions where we can perform that one also. Okay, so that means now I added a component and I changed edited operation resources as well as I edited operation items. Can I edit operation? Yes, of course. So just click on this LOV, edit operations is there. See, so I just you can uncheck the count point. That means it is going to transact automatically. So you can make this as a automatically transact if you want. So that means specific one, if you want, you can edit also. There is no issues, and you can add attachments or else you can make the name changes. Anything is fine. So system will allow you at the time of creating the work order.
in that functionality, I see a checkbox instead of a radio button. What happen if we check both things, automatically transact and
Automatically transact nothing, but okay, anyhow, so far we didn't test the scenario, right? So for example, 20th operation, edit operation, so count point nothing, but manually we need to transact the operation. For example, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, we need to move manually, so which we tested in the last session, remember, when we perform a manual work order.
Yes, by review dispatch list.
Yeah, but automatically transact nothing but, so this 20th operation we are not going to move. Once we complete 10th operation, system will complete 20th operation automatically in the application standpoint of view, and directly it will show that the operation is in 30th operation in ready status. That is the automatically transact. Okay.
my question is, what happen if we check both checkboxes?
System won't allow you to enable both one go. System won't allow you. Okay, so either you can check only one.
Okay.
So if you check count point, automatically transact will disable. You can check only one. Okay, see, automatically it will disable.
Okay.
Select okay. So now select save and close. So now automatically transact nothing but, so first release the order, release it, select done. So what will happen is, if you go to review dispatch list, so we don't do more transaction form, we will do everything from review dispatch list only. See, two quantity is in 10th operation. So 10th operation ready status. So from 10th operation, if you want, you can report, report, you can do it, or else it's okay, automatically system will do. So complete with details. So once I complete the item in the 10th operation, what should be the next operation? Tell me.
It should be third operation. As we
No, ideally.
second operation.
20.
20. But select save and close. So now number of units completed operation 10 is 2. What is the next operation system is showing?
30.
30. That means 20th operation completed automatically. See work center all status, even complete also. Select such. See which item. One second, let me expand. Select search. Okay, so in the history we will see. So here why it is not displaying the data. Go to view, columns, clock operation, report, operation name. So you must let complete here, complete with details. So directly it is in 30. Go to next. Go to next. Even if you want, you can add product and inventory. In between product and inventory, you can add a backflash also, one more tab also. Select save and close. Select save and close. So select done. So go to task. Manage work orders. Manage work orders. Okay, one second. So start date and end date. Okay. So all select search. So completed today. Just open this one. So history. So complete. Okay, operations. See, so second operation is also completed. But did we complete it manually? Did we move manually?
No.
So, but still it is completed, right?
Yes.
That is nothing but automatically transact. So we already, I think, discussed which scenarios we will perform automatically transact. Did we discuss or not? We discussed, right? Some production lines where we mentioned like a costing. We explained about some basic costing there. So if you say like we are not going to involve costing, or if you say some standard costing for the machine or resource, in that scenario we will say automatically transact.
Yes, Sharath.
Okay. In this work order, can I make 30th operation as a automatically transact?
No, the last operation won't be
The
automatically.
last operation should be count point operation only. Can I make 10th operation as a automatically transact?
You can
Yes.
make it.
Any operation we can make as a automatically transact operation, but not last operation. Okay. Okay. So any operation you can make it as automatically transact operation, except last operation in the work order. Last operation in the work order, guys. Okay. So now we completed. If you want, you can close it. So you can close it, or else if you want, you can print label also. Just a label, nothing but this label barcode. You can see the barcode right in the label. So you can print label from here, or else you can enable print label. So automatically system will print label. Anything is fine. Okay, that is running.
Against the operation, I saw some midpoint something in the scroll bar you have shown.
Midpoint rescheduling. So I told you, right? Three types of schedulings is there: forward, midpoint, and backward. So that midpoint scheduling automatically, if we define VCP, then based on the, if you mention midpoint schedule, system will go. But again, from the work order, you can reschedule that one. That's all. So just we can print the label, and you can take this label and you can attach to the, item, right? So usually you can see the item printing, item tags will be there. So any item is going to have stickers, right? Nothing but labels. So then we can print this label and you can attach to the item. So this is what we discuss on work orders. Tomorrow we'll create a rework work order and non-standard work order. So day after tomorrow we'll discuss about reporting the transactions. We have to discuss about, okay, there is a lot of concepts. We'll go on by one. So whatever we explained, is that clear for everyone today?
Yes, sir.
And few concepts we are not going to discuss as part of supply chain management training, but still the reason why I'm explaining a high level is, so you have to explain in interviews, right? At least it will be good. We can explain in interviews. That is the reason just I'm explaining. Okay.
Sir, the release pick materials is for the last transaction, last operation we need to do.
Can you come again?
This release and pick materials.
Release and pick nothing but, so once you release, so first when the work order is in unreleased status, at the time of releasing itself, if you want to generate a WIP movement request to pick the material, then automatically from here you can generate a WIP movement request by click on release and pick materials. Then based on the pick slip grouping rule and picking rule, system is going to generate a WIP movement request. Based on that one, we are going to pick the material. Again, separated will come into the picture.
Okay.
Okay. Or else, if you don't pick also, automatically system will update once we complete the operation. Or else, if you don't pick like this, we can manually report the transactions also. If you click on release and pick materials, what will do? System will generate a pick slip report. The pick slip report we are going to hand over to the pickers, shop floor people, warehouse people, who is going to visit the sub inventory, and they will pick the material by taking the pick slip report in hand, and they will bring to the shop floor. Okay.
In other words, if you do these pick materials, you are reserving for that particular work order.
No. Directly, so reserving nothing but, okay, I will tell you. by default, once you, click on pick nothing, but it will allocate. That's a default picking scenario. Correct? So if you pick means that is automatically allocate only. There's a standard scenario, right? How sales order picking will work, same scenario for work order picking also. By default, allocation and reservations, when it will happen, once you click on pick release, automatically system will verify the on-hand quantity and it will allocate the specific WIP movement request. So that means it will allocate to the WIP movement request. That WIP movement request belongs to this work order. So, but we are going to, if you're picking means, so allocation means with immediate effect, we are going to perform picking based on the supply type. So for example, if the supply type is operation pull, so and if you generate the pick slip report, system will generate the picking which are eligible for the first operation only, but not all items. In that scenario, system won't reserve remaining quantity. By default, it will reserve for only initial quantity only.
Tomorrow class, can you do one transaction with release pick material?
No, we'll do. We are going to perform all.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll discuss rework work orders one by one. We are going to do. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this week we are going to discuss manufacturing only.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye for now.
Okay.